Hi everyone, just want to give you a little update on RWB Parcc testing for 2017 and some things and some tips, some tricks to remember when you're taking Parcc so that you use your time wisely and you get the best score you can. We will start Parcc testing at RWB on Monday, May 8th, and you're going to do one unit of the ELA English Language Arts section each day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So here's your bell schedule for those 3 days, and you're getting a lot of time to work on these units. You'll see 110 minutes on Monday and Tuesday and 90 minutes on Wednesday. That is plenty of time to do really well on these Parcc units. It's almost 2 hours for units 1 and 2, and it's an hour and a half for unit 3, and that is just plenty of time for you to not only answer the questions, read the text, and write a really solid essay. So we're looking forward to some really good scores because you just have all this time to work and you're so prepared. Your teachers have really been preparing you. So in order to get prepared for Parcc, one of the best things you can do is go to the Parcc practice site. So all you have to do is go to this website that's right here, and your teacher can post this on Google Classroom and on Homework Now for you, but you can also just Google Parcc practice tests and you'll come to this site. It's open, it's free to the public, you can do it from home or from school, whatever works for you. So because I'm talking about English Language Arts today, I'm going to go to the English Language Arts practice test, but you can also go to math from here. So I'm going to go in. This is again free, you do not need an account, you don't need a login. And you're going to choose the grade that works for you. I'm going to choose grade 7, but you can choose grade 6 or grade 8. You can work on a grade that you're not in. If you're going to do that, I would suggest go up so that you challenge yourself, but you can look at what the tests are. So Parcc is not a trick. You know what you're going to see on every unit. So on unit 1 for English Language Arts, it's called the literary analysis task. What you're going to get on this task is 2 passages to read. They are most likely going to be fiction. And you're going to read them carefully again, and you're going to answer questions that are Part A and Part B questions. If you remember this from last year, and even if you don't, in Part A, you're looking for an answer to a question. Sometimes it's vocabulary like this one. And in Part B, you're looking for evidence that will support the answer that you gave in Part A. The thing is on Parcc that if you get this answer for Part A incorrect, you're not going to get any points for this question. So you really want to take some time and think about what your answer is for Part A, and then answer Part B to show how you got that answer. Okay? So that's really important. So really take some time on Parcc. You don't have a lot of questions and you have plenty of time to work. So don't get nervous. In order to help you with crossing out some answers that you know are wrong, you have these tools up here, and you might remember these from last year. So these arrows will let you go forward and back in the test, and you can only go forward and back in the unit in which you're working. You can't go into another unit. This review tool allows you to jump from one question to the next, okay, instead of going back and forth with the arrows. You can bookmark a question. So if you're really stuck on a question and you're not sure and it's just taking too much time, bookmark it. And then when you go into the review, you'll see that the bookmark is there, and that will help you remember that you need to go back and check that question before you submit your answers. Okay? You can also take the bookmark off. And then this is the pointer, so you will by default have a pointer or a little hand. And if you want a notepad, if you remember this from last year, this little notepad will come up and you can take some notes. This is helpful to some people, not to everyone, but it's there for you if you'd like to use it. This is the answer eliminator. So this is where you can really use this tool to help you remember which answers are definitely not the right answer. So when you decide that an answer is not correct, you can use that answer eliminator so to narrow down. And that's a great test-taking strategy. To take them off, you just click on them again. Okay? So if you want to use that, that's there. Again, you do not need to use these tools, but they are there for you. And then here, under this drop-down menu, you can change the colors. I do not recommend spending a lot of time changing colors on Parcc because it just wastes some time. But if you want to change the color, it makes it easier to read for you or more interesting, you're welcome to do that. The magnifier is here as well if you'd like to use it, and if it helps you read something, maybe you want to just highlight the words that you know that what you're reading, you can use that. Again, you do not have to use any tools. Line reader mask will just give you a line at a time to read. You can also make it more than one line if you like. It's totally up to you, and you can expand this box. So if you'd like to read a lot of lines at once, but you want to get rid of the others for some reason, you're welcome to use that. And answer masking. So this will cover up the answers, and then you can look at them one at a time. That might help you if you don't like the answer eliminator, but you would like to see each answer one at a time so your eyes are not looking at everything at once. You can use that. You don't have to. Okay, so if those tools help you, you're welcome to use them. So now in this case, here's the Count of Monte Cristo. You may have read it, you may not have, but you want to read the entire piece. That means you have to scroll using the scroll bar to make sure you read the entire piece before you go to answer the questions. You want to make sure you really are informed, and again, you have plenty of time. So once you read it, then look at those questions, and sometimes you might want to read the question first before you read it. That's fine, but really you need to read the whole passage at some point during the test. You should also read up here this little blurb, because sometimes that gives you information that you might not have realized or known, and it might help you on the test. So you want to make sure you read that blurb as well. That's on any standardized test. Okay, so you read the whole passage, you answer your questions. Part A, you get the answer. Part B, you get your evidence, and then you can move on to the next question. I want to point out also another tool here. When you see this little dotted gray line underneath a word in the text, that means they're going to give you that definition. So if you don't know what that word means, you just click on it and it will bring up that definition for you. So sometimes this won't be a question, this won't be a word that they're asking a question about, but some of these words might be new to you, and you might need to know that definition in order to understand the piece. So they give you that, okay? So you scroll through and you go through all of your answers, all of your questions. This is still the Count of Monte Cristo. You can see that here. And now, I'm sorry, we went to blessings, right. So now we went to blessings on, this is just question number 4, and we're at the second text, okay? So you're going to read again. You want to make sure you read the whole thing, and you answer those questions same way, part A, part B, okay? Sometimes they will make it a little bit different. So now this text box is larger where you're reading because this question is different. So this is a drag and drop question. So it's going to ask you, I am not looking at this question to answer it, I'm just showing you how this tool works. And it just asks you to drag and drop some answers in. You can do this, and you can change your mind. If you realize you made a mistake, you can drag them out and you can drag them in, and read those directions really carefully of what they're asking you to do. And it says not all options will be used. That's very important. Some students will get nervous because they don't use everything, but you don't have to use all options. They're telling you that, okay? So that's one example of a different type of question. And now here, you're going to select lines from the text. So in this case, you're not dragging and dropping or answering a question. You're just selecting within the text, and it will only let you choose 2. Okay, so it's telling you here you're permitted a maximum of 2 choices. So that's important, right? So you want to make sure that you remember you're only choosing 2, and you can just unchoose and choose another, but you need to make sure you only have 2. Okay, so that's what the question's asking you. So just answer that question really carefully, read the question really carefully. And then you'll probably remember this from last year. You're going to write an essay, and this is on every unit. You're going to write on every unit. On Unit 3, you're writing a story, but not an essay. But on Units 1 and 2, you're going to be writing an essay. So Monday, May 8th, Tuesday, May 9th, you're going to be writing an essay in response to a question on Parcc. And you get this text box. If you remember from last year, you have this tiny text box. It is not going to expand as you type, but you have about 4 virtual pages of space in which to write your essay. So keep writing, even though you type and you're typing and nothing's happening, but you're going down, you're going down, you're going down. You could keep on going. The scroll bar will expand, but the box itself will not. So just remember that, okay? Interesting this year, it looks like they give you a spell check. I don't think we had that last year, so that's a nice new tool. And some other tools here, but you don't have to use any of these. You don't have to use any of these. I do suggest you use that spell check at the end so that you submit the best essay you can. And since they give it to you, why not use it, okay? So you want to make sure you read that prompt really carefully. You are using both texts to support what you write, so that's very important. You want to make sure you use both, otherwise you won't get full points. So you want to go back to both texts, and you just toggle by clicking on these tabs at the top in order to do that. Okay, so that's Unit 1. Units 2 and 3 are very similar, so you will have a chance to. Unit 2 will be with 3 documents, and this is mostly nonfiction based. So you'll be looking at 3 different documents as you go through here. Part A, Part B questions again, but here you have a second document, which is a video in this case, in this example. You may or may not have a video or an audio piece to listen to while you're working on Parcc, so you'll have headphones just in case. And then your third piece will probably be a text as well. So you'll see what you get. It will be different every year, but you'll have drag and drop questions, you'll have other types of questions possibly on each unit. And then here you have your essay for Unit 2. You're going to use the all 3 sources because it says support your response with evidence from each source, but you're typing your essay in here again, and you're going to be, in this case, comparing purposes of 3 sources. You may be asked to use 2 sources, you may be asked to use all 3, but make sure you read that question really carefully. That's Unit 2, and these are more examples. And then at the end, you are going to get the submit final answer box. You only do this once you are completely done with the test and you have checked every answer and you really, really feel comfortable. Remember to use the review tab to go back to questions you were confused about or wanted to check over. You can use the arrows to go back. You can go back and forth within the unit you're working in before you submit. So make sure it's the best work you can do before you submit. Unit 3, just really quickly, is the narrative unit. And in this unit, you are going to write a story and not an essay at the end. So here you have a passage from a novel. You're going to read it. You're going to answer your questions just like you did. And here we have different types of questions. And here is where you're writing a story. So in this case, it's asking the question to write an original story that describes what Kevin does next. Kevin is a character here in the story. Yours will ask you to do something else, but it will be a story. So use those narrative structures, those narrative strategies and techniques that you've been learning all year long and even in previous years so that you can write a story. But remember, on Unit 3, you're not writing an essay, and that's really important for that unit. So once you're finished, you'll submit your answers and you will be done with that unit. And then you just want to make sure that you stay in that room and you're real quiet and you let everybody in that room finish and use all the time possible. But so that you don't get bored, you really should go back and check all of your answers before you submit so that you know that you've done your best job. Okay? Your teachers have more tips for you. They have more information for you on preparing for Parcc. You are ready. We know you're ready. You've been learning these strategies and these techniques all year long. So there's nothing new that you need to know to bring to Parcc. You have all those tools ready, but just be ready for what this test is going to look like and know how to use the tools that are given to you. Your teacher may also be using Parcc released items. This is also a site that you can go to. It's open and free to the public. You can Google Parcc released items and you'll get to this site, or you can go to this website address right here and your teacher can give that to you as well. If you have any additional questions, please ask your teacher. Good luck on Parcc. We know you're going to do great. Have a great day.